All right, everybody, we're going to talk about section 3 from chapter 3 on states of matter. This is the last section in this chapter. We are looking to quiz on states of matter towards the end of the week, Thursday or Friday. Because we've got shortened classes on Friday due to the Pep Fest, it may end up being Thursday or we'll push it to Monday. When I come back to class on Wednesday, we will talk more about this. I apologize for being gone the last couple of days. My daughter's been sick, and so I've needed to stay home with her. So, section 3, this is in your green note packet. First of all, talking about the characteristics of a phase change. We need to know what a phase change is in order to talk about the characteristics of it. This is a reversible physical change that occurs when one substance changes from one state of matter to another. So, for example, if something goes from a liquid to a gas or from a solid to a liquid. One of the most common examples you can think of when it comes to a phase change is an ice cube melting. We know that an ice cube is in solid form. When it melts, it turns into a liquid and it becomes that water. And that's one example of a phase change that you're already familiar with. There are multiple different types of phase changes. We have sublimation, condensation, freezing, melting, deposition, vaporization, and evaporation. Now, you are familiar with some of these, maybe not with the term that's being used, but you do know what some of these are if I was to give you some examples for it. Right here we've got a diagram that is showing us the different phase changes and what states of matter they go to and from. In each of the corners of the triangle shape, you will see a state of matter, solid, gas, and liquid. Then what you see is you see arrows. There are arrows that are red and arrows that are blue. The arrow is pointing in the direction in which the state of matter changes from. So, for example, the arrow that points from solid to liquid, that is blue, represents melting because it is going from a solid to a liquid and it is losing energy. Okay, there's less energy needed in order for that to happen. Freezing is the phase change when it goes from a liquid to a solid. Sublimation is the change from a solid going directly to a gas. Deposition is going from a gas directly to a solid. Condensation is a gas to a liquid. And vaporization is a liquid to a gas. When we talk about phase changes and how they occur, there are a couple key things that we want to realize. First of all, that they are going from one state of matter to the next, but also that they are either going to absorb or release energy during a phase change. Okay? Absorb means they're taking energy in, and releasing it means that it's giving it off. The terms that we use to discuss this are endothermic and exothermic. Okay, you want to look at the prefix with these terms. So endothermic, endo means that they are absorbing the energy, and exothermic, exo is like exit, so it is releasing or giving off that energy. Talking about melting and freezing. So the arrangement of molecules of water become less orderly as the water melts and more orderly as it freezes. So as that water freezes, those particles that we're talked about that you looked at with your state of matter project, they're going to get tighter and tighter together as that water freezes. As the water melts, they're going to spread apart. Melting and freezing are opposites. When water freezes, it is in a solid form. It is still water, but it is the solid form of water. When it melts, it's still water. It's just a liquid form of water. Okay? It's still made up of the same components. It's still H2O. Okay? 2 hydrogens and 1 oxygen. It's the same components. It's just in a different state of matter. The next ones here that we're going to talk about are vaporization, condensation, and evaporation. So this is a phase change in which a substance changes from a liquid to a gas is vaporization. Okay, an example here is boiling water. The difference between vaporization and evaporation is that vaporization happens above the boiling point. Evaporation happens below the boiling point. Okay, so here we have an example. You can see the young boy's playing with his sailboat in the pond. Okay, evaporation is the process that changes the substance from a liquid to a gas at temperatures below the substance's boiling point. So this could be, for example, a hot sunny day and it had rained the night before and there was a puddle on the ground. Eventually that water would evaporate. Okay? It is not boiling and then bubbles releasing up into the air. It's just evaporating at the normal temperature. Last one here for this group or this cluster is condensation. This is a phase change that occurs when a substance changes from a gas to a liquid. One of the examples here is morning dew on the grass. So if you've ever gone outside in the springtime or in the summer and you know that it did not rain the night before, but you go outside and the grass is wet, that is what we call morning dew. It's that moisture that forms from the gas of the air, the moisture in the air, then changes from the gas phase to the liquid. Sublimation and deposition. These are phase changes that you are probably least likely familiar with. Sublimation is the phase change that occurs when a substance changes from a solid to a gas, but it does not change to a liquid first. So an example of this would be dry ice. Dry ice are these blocks that you can see right here on the screen, and they are solid form, and as they are changing stages, they are changing to a gas. That's what appears to be the smoke coming from it. Deposition. This is a phase change when it goes from a gas to a solid. Now, being in North Dakota, this is something that you are likely familiar with, especially during the winter or as it starts to get much colder out. When you look out to your window and sometimes it looks like there's snow on the inside of the window, you can kind of scrape it. Okay, that frost that forms on the window is forming from the process of deposition. You also see this a lot if maybe you park your car outside during the middle of winter, where you have to scrape your windshield in order to clear the windshield so you can drive your vehicle and be able to see appropriately. Here we have just a breakdown of what phase changes are endothermic and which phase changes are exothermic. Make sure that you remember here, these endothermic phase changes you can see on this slide are under the red category. That is because they are going to absorb energy. Exothermic, they're going to give energy off. Okay. Endothermic, they're absorbing that energy. So going through here, we've got solid to a liquid, which is melting, liquid to a gas, and solid to a gas. So we've got melting, vaporization, and sublimation. On the other side here with exothermic, okay, they are releasing energy that's going from liquid to a solid. So freezing, condensation, and then deposition. I believe this is the last slide that we have here. So I really just want to make sure that you have a good understanding of this. We will briefly cover this when I come back to class, hopefully on Wednesday, and we can address any issues that you may have with this. As a reminder, you are supposed to have your States of Matter project done and shared with me. That should have been completed on Monday. And your States of Matter worksheet that you would have gotten yesterday from Mrs. Olson or Mrs. Kinkle also needs to be completed. Please make sure that that gets turned in the pink container. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to email me. I can't guarantee that I will get back to you in a very quick fashion, but I will keep an eye out for emails tomorrow evening so that I can address some of that. It is also my goal that I will be at parent-teacher conferences on Wednesday evening. If your parents would like to speak to me about you and how things are going within our class. All right, thank you very much. I hope you all have a good day.